22nd of April 2024. This is one of that. There is time skid marks that I do, and this one is going to be brutal. Now, if you are a woke liberal, I suggest that you stop the video now, close it and go away, because this is going to blow your fucking brains. This channel is not a channel renowned for pussyfooting around realities and truth. The fact of the matter is, we, the ordinary, decent people with principles, we are being lined up for a wipeout. And we are doing it, and we are cruising along merrily, totally oblivious of the satanic plans that is in place to destroy us. Now, let me remind you, it was men like this that tamed this world, this Western world, and civilized it. Not shit like this, but what happened in life. Since the 40s, they started with a movement, so-called emancipation of the women. And it sounded brilliant at that time. And it was a great topic to drive. And nobody realized what the fuck they were actually going for. What their end goal was. Now, almost 80 years later, we can see this shit. And unfortunately, they've embedded and enshrined all their shit in laws and regulations that makes it virtually impossible to resist it without landing in jail. This is the problem. They started first and they made it acceptable and actually desirable for women to work. Okay, what happened? They made a lot of fucking money from the extra taxes, but the main aim was to get the children out of your control. You, women, they took your children away from you. And many of you loved it, to be a doll that sits there behind a typewriter and fancy makeup and all that shit, and you don't care what about happening to your children and your kids because the teachers will handle them. But in those initial stages, and you must understand, I lived through this, those initial stages, the schools were actually focused on actually educating the children. And brilliant minds were developed in the schools. But then, the first sign was when they banned God out of the schools. You should have seen it for what it was. And then they started pushing with racial integration in the schools. That should have been a big fucking red light and a more of a bright red line that shouldn't be crossed, but you're allowed to cross. And this feminist movement carried on, and slowly but surely they guided the women to get to a place where women believed, many women believed, that they're equal to men. There's no such a fucking thing. A woman can never be equal to a man. Physically, it's impossible. Yes, they can have equal rights, but they can never be equal. A man can pick up a 50-kilogram bag of seed and throw it onto a truck. Very few women can do it. Yeah, there are some brutes that can do it, but that's not the run of the mill. But a man can be as strong as he likes. He cannot have a baby. He cannot breastfeed a baby. But lo and behold, look at the fucking media and they show you fucking men that gets pregnant and they show you men that breastfeed. It's not fucking men, it's fucking monsters. Creatures. Get that into your mind. This is what a man looks like. This is a man. This thing here is a fucking thing. Don't tell me anything else. It's a fucking thing. The problem is, the clever ones like Schwab and his gang is planning your extermination. And they are importing the barbarians into our societies to do the extermination. And who the fuck is going to help you when those barbarians come for you? It will be guys like this. Not shit like this. This shit will be wiped out with you. But, okay, if I put an image of a woman in one of my shows, or a few images of women, that looks like this, lo and behold, holier than thou liberals will come and post in my comments and tell me, quoting Bible verses and what the hell knows else, that I am a depraved, sick mind. What the fuck is that? Who can remember the avalanche when all of a sudden on public stages fucking politicians refused to answer the question, what is a woman? Now for those fucking confused cretins, this is what a woman looks like. And today we are confronted by so many AI instances. But look, even AI knows what is a woman. Look at this. So, freak out as much as you like. You women, you allowed the feminists to drive you to a place where fuck nuts like this is being pushed as the ideal man. And a man like this is accused of toxic masculinity. It has reached a fucking stage that real men are afraid to compliment a woman on her looks, to open a door for a woman. No, that shit is not allowed because it's degrading to the woman. But in the meanwhile, this sick fucking XXX has masterfully brainwashed the women into a position that they are now so fucking weak that they even accepted that a thing with a fucking dick wins women's competitions. A thing with a dick is a Miss Netherlands. A thing with a dick wins the fucking women's swimming championships. You women allowed that to happen to you. And mostly because if your man would fucking dare to admire a woman, you blow a fucking top. Instead of being glad that he's at least a fucking man. But no, you women, you helped this depraved, evil, satanic fucking XXX to put you in a position that you are now being represented by a thing with a dick. Look at that fucking Mulvaney that all of a sudden he was a spokesperson for some underwear, women's underwear thing. What the fuck is that? But you have got a more of a problem. But I'm glad to say, I see lots of comments and I get lots of messages of real women. Real women. Women send me messages in which they appreciate what I'm doing and the images that I show, and then they send me images of what they see as real men and how what a real man looks like and so. And I like it. It gives me hope. But the reality is this. They are busy fucking our children's minds to such an extent that they are they are so confused that they are not so sure about what gender they're supposed to be. I saw a fucking grandma last night, eagerly and smilingly approves of the fact that her granddaughter is using hormone blockers to change her gender. And then the interviewer asks her, and what about tattoos? And the fucking grandma says no. And the interviewer says to her, why? And she says, because a tattoo is permanent. What the fuck is that? Screwing her daughter's hormone systems and everything. That is okay. But fuck, don't put up a tattoo. This is how sick this fucking society has become. One thing is for sure. When the fucking barbarians come for you, for that final onslaught, it will be men like this that will stop the barbarians. But the reality is, each of those men, they will ensure that their families survive. You woke liberals, you're fucked. You will not survive. And rest assured, it is part of the plan that you don't survive. I said to a friend of mine this afternoon, I said to him, it's unfortunate, but the Western world has reached a point where we need a really serious cleansing of the race. There is now hopelessly too much shit walking around, and the fuckers can still breed as well. So, if you are now shocked into your foundation, sorry, but let me remind you, this is a real woman. This is a real man, not this cock. Don't forget that. Please give me a like and subscribe and share the thing. Thank you for your support.